now hauntingly familiar. They have shared our skies for an uneasy 50 years. Eyewitness accounts testify to their breathtaking speed, unparalleled maneuverability, and uncanny silence. They are different than any aircraft made here on Earth. These stealthy visitors are called UFOs, unidentified flying objects. They have shown up unexpectedly in photographs taken all across the globe. Yet if we turn back the pages of history, there are intriguing hints that UFOs have been with us all along. Perhaps even as far back as 12,000 years ago, when our ancestors found shelter in the darkness of caves. The walls of these primitive dwellings were often painted with figures of hunters and the animals they hoped to snare. Recently, other images have come to light. These tracings were made from caves in France and Spain, and they show pictures not ordinarily associated with hunting.
Their shapes are very peculiar because they do oftentimes look like UFOs and saucers. And I'm not saying that they are UFOs or that they do represent craft of any type, only that they have a similarity to what we now perceive as maybe craft from another planet as UFOs. And one wonders where the cave people were getting the impetus for putting these on their walls. Obviously, putting paintings on cave walls was a laborious process, and you would only put down the most important things of your daily life. And here these objects appear not once, not twice, but fairly numerous times on the cave walls.
The advance of civilization brought us out of caves and into cities. Some 4,000 years ago, scribes recorded what sounds like the sighting of UFOs during the reign of a pharaoh named Thutmose III.
In the year 22 of the third month of the winter, a circle of fire appeared in the sky. After some days it became more numerous and shone with the brightness of the sun, extending to the very limits of the heavens. Royal Records of Thutmose III, 1480 BC.
A millennium later, young Alexander the Great conquered his way across the known world. In 332 BC, he laid siege to the Phoenician city of Tyre, and accounts from both sides report that shield-shaped silver objects appeared in the sky. One supposedly sent down a beam of light that destroyed the city walls. Even the Bible itself contains passages that some say refer to alien spacecraft.
I looked, and behold, a stormy wind came from the north, a great cloud with fire flashing through it, and a radiance round about it, while out of the midst of it gleamed something with a luster like that of shining metal. Ezekiel, verse 1.
There are a number of reports from the past, and I believe that some of them are quite legitimate. But one of the things is you can't interview witnesses, of course. You can't get independent witnesses. You can't ask, well, what angle was it above the horizon? The problem we have with them is we have to take them totally at face value.
It's always important in looking at these to remember that there are a lot of strange astronomical phenomena that only occur once in a while, like a star going supernova and suddenly appearing in the sky, or a comet which appeared unexpectedly. And so you always have to look at these from the point of view of astronomy. There could be some atmospheric phenomenon or an astronomical phenomenon that they were depicting as something supernatural.
As the scientific awareness of the population grew, superstition was replaced by knowledge of what was actually going on in the heavens. However, when an object would fly across the sky and stop, or hover, or seemingly descend to the ground, or maybe exhibit many different color changes or change shape or what have you, then even those people knew that they were looking at something out of the ordinary.
The residents of Nuremberg, Germany, had just such an experience on April 4th, 1561. On that day, the skies above the city filled with a chaotic array of tube-shaped objects and balls of light. Eyewitnesses called it a frightful spectacle. Chronicles of the time also report extraordinary displays over Basel, Switzerland during the summer of 1566. These events were depicted in primitive woodcuts made by eyewitnesses. However, it was the talented master artists that have left us the most fascinating images. In 1998, an Italian writer named Daniela Giordano earned an award for her landmark study of the enigmatic flying objects depicted by Renaissance artists.
She discovered that not only did the artist have these objects in the picture, but he also had people looking at these objects and shielding their eyes as though the people were actually noting with amazement that something unusual was in the sky. It's unknown why the object's there, but it does appear and it looks like a UFO.
This apparently traditional religious work is known as the Madonna and Saint Giovanni. Here too, a witness to the flying object is placed unobtrusively, yet unmistakably, in the background.
And it's very obvious that this person's attention is directed to the flying object. And the artist obviously wanted viewers of the painting to see that not only is there the Madonna in the painting, but that there's also an object in the background.
Curious airborne craft show up in other media as well. These tapestries from the 1500s depict the life of the Virgin Mary. Lurking in the background is the familiar shape of a 1950s-style UFO. This fresco from a 14th century monastery in Kosovo prominently features what appears to be a flying vehicle. On this French coin, minted in 1680, a ray of light beams down from a colossal wheel-shaped object. Sporadic sightings continue to be recorded for the next 250 years. In the 1940s, World War II pilots joined the long list of UFO eyewitnesses. Some of these pilots would later come forward to tell their stories as interest in UFOs increased after the war.